Hello Internet, and welcome back to Fatboy and Nick. Day 6 of this 6-episode series, which takes me through 8 countries in 6 days, starting out from Chichester in the UK to Montenegro in the Balkans, on my Harley-Davidson 2005 anniversary edition Fatboy. Just to recap my backstory, the family has made a long-term move to Montenegro in the Balkans. I wanted to take my Fatboy on a 1,500-mile solo journey from the UK across Europe to our new home. I wanted to start this new semi-retirement chapter in my life with a real adventure. Above all, I really wanted to take this opportunity to finally ride this bike. Day 6, the final day. We leave Split at 9 a.m, the city waking up around us. There is a strange finality to packing the bike this morning. Every strap I tighten feels like I'm closing a chapter. We are heading south, aiming for the walls of Dubrovnik, and then finally, across the border into Montenegro. It's a 280-kilometre run, 6 hours of saddle time left. The weather gods are smiling on us one last time. It is scorching already, with clear blue skies stretching all the way to the horizon. We are sticking to the D8, the Adriatic Highway, a road that has become my best friend over the last 2 days. We keep the grey limestone mountains on the left shoulder and the shimmering Adriatic Sea on the right. It's a familiar rhythm now, lean left, lean right, throttle on, but today feels different. Today we aren't just tourists riding a route, we're going home. My desire for today is to finish strong. I want to reach Tivat without drama, but more than that, I want to savour the final mile. We are island hopping over the magnificent Pelješac Bridge to skirt around the Bosnia and Herzegovina corridor, keeping strictly to Croatian soil until the final border. It's a cleaner run, a straighter shot, and the ultimate prize. It's waiting for me across the border. The ride along the Boka Bay in Montenegro. It is widely considered one of the most beautiful bays in the world, and it's the final, spectacular, scenic reward before I park the bike in my own driveway. I want to ride that bay not just as a traveller, but as a local claiming his territory. The tech issue from yesterday, still there. The signal bars remain stubbornly empty, but I was given a golden tip last night over a beer. Download the map offline. I cached the entire route on the hotel Wi-Fi, locking it into the phone's memory. So I have turn-by-turn navigation, a digital breadcrumb trail to follow. The only downside? It's a static map. No live traffic data. No speed limit warnings flashing up when I get a bit heavy-handed with the throttle. I'm back to reading the road signs like it's 1999, scanning for police and speed traps with my own eyes. It's a good tip for the future though, always have a backup. There is a specific kind of exhaustion that hits you on the final mile. It's not just physical. It's the road scraping away the last of your pretenses, the heat of the engine, the vibration in your marrow, the endless waiting at the border. It all conspires to make you quit, but the helmet is a confessional, and you have to whisper the truth to yourself. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. And we are not done. We don't stop just because the road got rough. We stop when the kickstand is down and the mission is complete. Crossing this final border, entering the sanctuary of Boca Bay, it marks the transition into the ultimate chapter of adult life. Statesmanship. It's no longer just about being the captain of the ship. It's about being the lighthouse. It's about mentoring, building relationships, credibility, and trust that stand as firm as these mountains. You learn on a bike this heavy that you can't muscle it through the corners. If you fight the physics, you lose. You have to use leverage. It's a skill to move heavy objects with a light touch. You press the handlebar an inch, and half a ton of steel changes course effortlessly. And in life, it's exactly the same. You direct the path of heavy discussions and entrenched ideas using little force, just a light hand on the tiller. Statesmanship is the art of invisible steering. You learn to become the sweeper, clearing away the rubbish and debris that clouds a premise. People's egos and emotions are just like the fog we rode through in Germany, or the heat haze at the border. They diffuse the objective. They hide the road. Your job is to be the lens that cuts through that, to drill down to the bedrock of the issue at hand. You look back at 1,500 miles, and as a single distance, it seems impossible. But the statesman knows the secret. You break down the whole into manageable parts. You don't stare at the mountain. You look at the next turn. You structure the plan. You lay the individual bricks, and you measure the progress. You understand that a war is won by fighting many battles, and crucially, that not all battles have to be won. A wise general knows which hills are worth dying on, and which can be bypassed. You formulate the long-term plan. You hold it in your mind like a map, and you guide everyone to a positive outcome, often without them even realizing you are leading. And as the engine cuts, and the silence rushes back in, you realize what this was all about. The noise of the journey fades, and you are left with the signal. It wasn't just a holiday, it was a reflection on what really matters at the end of the road. It is not what we bought, the chrome and the steel, but what we built. It is not what we got, but what we shared with those along the way. It is not our competence, how well we rode the corners, but our character when the road got dark. And it is not our success, but our significance. The goal now is simple: to live a life that matters, to live a life of love, and to use everything you've learned to help others find their own road. We're done. The real friction today wasn't the navigation, it was the border. It took about an hour to inch through. No drama, no issues with papers, just the sheer volume of traffic funneling into a single lane. You just have to sit there, straddling a hot engine, cooking in your leathers, and wait for the stamp. It's the final test of patience before the reward. But once that heavy stamp hit the passport, everything changed. The tension of the queue evaporated. We rolled into Montenegro, and the landscape shifted instantly. Driving along the water's edge of Boca Bay is spiritual. The mountains here don't just sit next to the sea, they dive into it, creating these massive silent reflections. This is where the transition completes. Riding these curves, smelling the pines and the salt, I realised I'm no longer just a traveller passing through. I'm a semi-retired guy riding through his new backyard. The weather is fantastic, the people are great, the food is delicious, and for the first time I can say I live here. We are home, 1,500 miles, 6 days, 8 countries. From the English Channel to the Adriatic, I have mixed feelings here in the silence. There's the immense joy of being back with my family, safe and sound. But there's a distinct sadness that the trip is over. I feel like Fatboy, and I have really connected on this trip. After 14 years of ownership, after seeing it sit in a garage for years, I finally know this bike. We've battled the fog, mountain passes, and heat together. So, what's next? This isn't the end. It's the beginning. I'm living in the Balkans now, and I intend to explore every inch of it. I've learned how to use this Insta360 action camera. I'm learning to use the edit suite. The plan is to create touring videos from around the region. We'll focus on the rides, the roads, and the destinations. I've already got thoughts outlined for the spring, but for now, There are a few more riding weeks left this year before Fatboy goes into winter hibernation, and I intend to use them. Thank you for riding with me in this first season. This is just the beginning of the adventure. Until next time, ride safe. If you got this far, please like and subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Your support is very much appreciated. Until our next time.